make no mistake, Fran is the crowd favorite.
Absolutely. Fran flying to the rim. She's crossing it over to let everyone know she's jumping off her right foot, dunking it left-handed.
Not many that I've ever seen can palm it and flush it.
They want it off the backboard. Yes, you can, Fran! Two hands even. And 80 will win it. That's a winner right there! With the crown around her and the cape jumping over. Amazing.
We welcome you to the 2019 McDonald's All-American Girls Game here inside State Farm Arena in Atlanta. Getting ready for the start of action for what's going to be an exciting evening of high school hoops. So glad to have you with us here today. I'm Mike Cousins along with Brooke Weisbrod, dressed perfectly for the occasion, by the way, with the McDonald's All-American jersey, because this is the pinnacle of high school hoops.
Right? I mean, you get to celebrate the achievements of all of that hard work, that dedication. You're getting recognized by the best players in the country to say, hey, you belong with us on this court. And I think these young ladies have done a terrific job of enjoying the moment, but staying competitive. Tonight is all about business.
This is the end of the week for these players who have had a really exciting few days here in Atlanta. And we'll take you back to Monday, where we witnessed history at the Powerade Jam Fest. Fran Belibi, just the second girls player to win that competition.
Well, it was pretty unbelievable what we saw. I mean, history in the making here. Candace Parker started it, and Fran Belibi getting her teammates involved, jumping over Ashton Prechtel there, then getting the alley-oop from Haley Jones. Oh yeah, Stanford Cardinals fans, get ready for a lot of this at the next level. And of course, she is joined, Francesca Belibi, by her teammate Haley Jones, who, oh, by the way, is the McDonald's Player of the Year, just announced yesterday. So what a class for the Stanford Cardinals.
A lot to like, especially with Jones, who's going to be staying close within an hour of home and being the first #1 player to choose the Cardinal since 2010. Look at the starting lineups for these squads today. It's the West in the gray jerseys. The East will be in the black jerseys. Charisma Osborne, perhaps the name champion of the McDonald's games, boys or girls.
I'd say so.
She's going to UCLA. She'll be joined by Nia Green, Haley Jones in that starting lineup, and you'll see Fran Belibi coming off the bench for that West squad, headed by Lee Rogers. The East squad, a couple South Carolina Gamecocks in there, 3 of them as a matter of fact. Jordan Horston going to Tennessee, and Celeste Taylor will be playing her college hoops in Austin, Texas. Officials today, Keisha Brown, Simone Redd, and Carla Roberts for the 2019 McDonald's All-American Game. Well, Brooke, you've been around these players for the last several days. This is not only a great group personality-wise, but an exceptionally talented class as well.
Oh, I mean, just exceptional skill work here. And we'll see Aaliyah Boston at 6'5". She is one of 3 players to head to South Carolina to play for Dawn Staley. So the real big winners out of the McDonald's class this year, South Carolina getting 3, Stanford getting 3 as well. But you're right, Mike, the skill level just totally there. Haley Jones, so versatile. That's the word I kept hearing, really. I asked every one of these players, what is good about your game? Tell me your strengths. And almost everybody said versatility. So we are at the moment where, yes, women's basketball is becoming positionless.
Baseline drive by Taylor is tipped away. Lee Rogers, the head coach for the West out of Arundel High School in Maryland, where over 30 years as the head coach there. He's coached 45 players onto the Division I level.
This is, early going. You're seeing a lot of passing here. I'm interested because usually this is all a big one-on-one fest, but you can see a lot of the pull-up jump shots, some good spacing and passing, aggressiveness early on by these young ladies.
Head coach for the West is the exceptionally accomplished Sue Phillips, who's been the Naismith Coach of the Year at Archbishop Mitty High School and also has coached extensively with USA Basketball.
And will be coaching against one of her own today, Haley Jones. We mentioned her a couple times in the Open. And I said, all right, so give me the prognosis. I mean, you got to be able to break her game down, right? You're going to be scouting against her. She said, you know, I hope she goes off for 30, but we win the game. That would work out for me just fine.
Everybody's happy that way.
I was like, that's fair.
And that's the word that she used too, versatility. She calls Jones the most versatile player in the country. Certainly understandable as the #1 ranked player in the class of 2019.
Well, she's going to be a player that will analyze the game, wanting to go into sports psychology as her major. She said there's just not enough time spent on that aspect of the game. Shot clock running down now. Oh, great job. Good take to the basket from Osborne. Corey Close will like that. She loves guards that know how to pick it up in game time. And, man, talk about a talent here. Jordan Horston. Mike, she's going to Tennessee. Now, what are we going to do about Tennessee? Will she stay going there? Because as we just found out before this game, Holly Warlick out as the head coach of Tennessee. Be a big storyline to follow in the next few weeks for Horston.
Turnaround in the lane goes off glass for Jackson. Native of Detroit, who's going to play at Mississippi State. Beal the rebound, gets the bottom of the backboard. Scooped up by Angel Jackson, and she feeds ahead to Jones. Here in the early going, it's Osborne, UCLA bound, running the show.
And just like their current point guard, Japrice Dean, Osborne told me she is uber competitive. She likes to have fun, but first things first is getting to work. She loves Corey Close because she's a motivator. I just witnessed that up front. And Jordan Horston, who was in that same bracket, Tennessee, a first-round loss. And, of course, Jordan Horston headed there. And I said, you know, what was your experience like when you found out you were an All-American? She said, it was so unreal. I was at school. I saw the video. My teacher played it, saw my name on it. It was a dream. I just always dreamed about this moment. And now seeing it here for myself instead of just seeing it on TV has been surreal. And Mike, the scouting report on Miss Horston is that she's got everything about her game there, just needs consistency on her jump shot.
The reception from so many players, not to say that it's unanimous, but they think, I've always dreamed about this, and now that it's happened, it's like, wow, all of my hard work has gotten me to this point. It's one of those things you can't necessarily imagine happening, and then it does, and now they've been able to come here and live it out with girls who they know from whether it's playing on the travel circuit or USA basketball, and it's a fun couple of days.
Yeah, it's being able to really learn from the best too. I mean, a lot of these young ladies talk to me about how excited they were to meet other players and to, you know, get to know them, because they're just going to be competing against each other at the next level. But man, if I'm here and I'm a player, I'm asking everybody, what's your three-point drill? Tell me how you're getting better at your mid-range game. How are you working on your ball handling? All tips that you can basically pick up from, you know, the best players in the country that you'll probably see in the WNBA in a few years.
Slow start from the floor. East 1 of 7 and the West 1 of 6 to start. As these players have gone through practices over the last several days, had a scrimmage yesterday, but now under the bright lights on the big floor.
Yeah, you tightened up a little bit.
Figuring it out with teammates, many of whom may be new.
Nerves will take some time to work through, but you see some plays like this will help get you going. There's some fast break points. I like that. Great dish from Celeste Taylor. And she's headed to Texas to play for Karen Aston. Her face lit up when I asked her how excited she was to play for Coach Aston. Another great motivator. So many good women's coaches in the game now. Let's hope to grow that number.
Taylor, number 12 in the black, also the New York State Gatorade Player of the Year at a Long Island Lutheran high school. She was speeding down the floor.
Right, I mean, transition is the name of the game. This is what everybody comes here to see. They want to see some fast break buckets. And a good no-look dish from Taylor. Horston hands ready, up and fire. Got to go fast.
Zaya Cook out of Toledo, Ohio, spinning it off the rim. And the basketball going back to the West squad.
Yeah, Celeste is a true two-guard. She's in a good way, a mean streak and some sass to her game. I always love spice, so bring that to Austin. Coach Aston will love that, but she told me the pull-up jump shot is actually the best part of her game. Music to my ears as a mid-range, I don't know about specialist, but I think it's just because I could shoot three as well, so that's where I made my money, in the mid-range.
15 feet. As long as it looks good and it goes in, you're good.
Look good, you play good, Mikey. Okay, Haley, good take. Gonna have to learn how to keep her eyes a little more on the rim. And as she gets more athletic, that's a move she'll finish.
Timeout with 4:44 to go as the East leads the West 2 buckets to 1.
Our host for tonight's games, Bria Janelle, who was a McDonald's All-American nominee herself back in 2007. Bria is considered one of the voices of the Atlanta basketball team.
Tonight, our NBA Wednesday doubleheader starts in Oklahoma City. It'll be the Pacers and the Thunder. And then it's off to Salt Lake City for the Jazz hosting the Lakers. Coverage starts with NBA Countdown tonight at 7 Eastern on ESPN and ESPN app. So I'm curious about this McDonald's jersey.
Yes?
Did you have to lobby for that? Obviously, you're very stylish.
Well,
and
come
so
on, Mike.
you're giving a nice compliment to the normal outfit.
Well, my feeling is it just showed up in the mail a few years late. You know, that's maybe how I feel. No, actually, I was going for a Candace Parker jersey, considering Fran Beliebe won the dunk contest and kind of honored her with it. But yeah, it's pretty nice. I like it, lightweight. It is going to make it out of here, this building, with me. So I hope you guys don't want it back if you're the McDonald's people, because I'm keeping it.
She did have her recurring segment, by the way, during the year, Style Points with B-Dub. So
That's right.
You are the one winning the Style Points today.
I'll take it. Why not? I need some joggers. These ladies got like 6 pairs of shoes, so we know the swag has been flowing aplenty here this week. We've all noticed the changing of the uniforms now, right? I think the largest size I heard that was ordered here was a large. I think on the boys' side too. So, you know, the mediums are in full effect now. It's like the thing.
It's like if you ever look back at the photos from like 10 years ago and all uniforms are
baggy
huge
shorts.
and baggy, and now it's gone in the complete opposite direction. A total course correction.
Naya Peoples headed to Notre Dame, following in the footsteps of Skylar Diggins, a player she said she grew up loving to watch. Oh, Believe with the miss.
And Brunel has the rebound for the East squad. Just off the bench, Kennedy Brown out of Kansas, headed to Oregon State with the rebound for the West team.
Good entry pass from Anaya Peoples. I like that. It's so simplistic. Nice move from Fran Beliebe. Notre Dame and Stanford just might meet up here in the Sweet 16. That regional going to be in Chicago. That will be a fantastic bracket to pay attention to.
Horston off the ball screen, pull up from 15 feet, no good. Feed ahead for Fran, goes too long. It'll be coming back the other way, 3:17 in the opening quarter at the 2019 McDonald's All-American game. Fun start on a packed day of hoops as the girls take the floor here first, and then the boys are going to follow. That'll be our second game of the night, coming your way at 7 Eastern.
I see both teams just really trying to work into the offense here. We've seen some fast breaks, you know, some nerves as we see the second team kind of go through here, but that's one player who never gets rattled. Samantha Brunel, also headed to play for Muffet McGraw and the Notre Dame Fighting Irish.
She was the winner of the three-point competition on Monday night.
Killing it.
Cole Anthony was the winner on the boys' side. He had 17. Brunel had 22, and then we went to commercial, and they decided, all right, let's go one-on-one, see who's really the champion, and Brunel was the winner head-to-head against Anthony as well.
Who challenged who?
It's a good question, and we've got a couple hours to get to the bottom of that.
We'll figure it out.
Also on Monday night, it was Fran Beliebe, winner of the dunk contest, and showing her prowess under the bucket, future Stanford Cardinal.
The 2019 McDonald's All-American Girls Game is brought to you by McDonald's. Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance. And Skittles. Taste the rainbow.
Fran Beliebe is nothing short of legendary status after Monday night.
That is correct.
Joining Candace Parker as the two females to win the Powerade Jam Fest. Parker did it in 04. She did it with her arm covering her eyes, jammed it with one hand. Now, Fran's run to the title was perfect dunks all the way. We had 10 or 8 judges. Each of them could put up a 10 every time, max of 80, and she got an 80 on every single dunk.
I mean, how could you not give her a perfect score? And the crazy thing was, she had taken the time to plan every single dunk. Nice turnaround pull-up shot from Brunel there. Wow, her form looks so good. 6'3", she's making moves and pulling up like that and can hit threes. Okay, Muffet McGraw, got you a good one coming.
Muffet said she's not only a player who's going to be ready to step in and play and contribute right away next year, but is the best shooter in the class of 2019.
Nice, and you talk about good shooting. Headed to Ohio State, where there is a terrific history of some good shooters. Kirsten Bell.
She knocked it down last time down the floor for the West squad, and now lobs it ahead. Really nice step through at the bucket from Peoples.
Yeah, good spin move, kept her balance. She's a player that really plays within her strengths. Going to be a good leader for the Irish, and Kirsten Bell talked a lot about that as well. That's what she's looking forward to. Oh, a little fade away, no big deal. She only picked up a basketball 4 years ago. Well, she's a McDonald's All-American. Mom said, I'd really rather you play tennis, stick to that.
Which she did well in. She was 3rd in the doubles tournament in the state as a freshman. But basketball has worked out quite all right.
I can only imagine her serve and volley game.
You got no shot against somebody that tall, right?
You don't.
Peoples underneath for Belibi, and Peoples corrals it. Double team comes, so outside for Brown, and her 3 is pure. And the East squad, led by Sue Phillips, takes the timeout.
Fran Belibi, not going to be a ball hog. You got to love that. Good pass out to Kennedy Brown, who was headed to play for Scott Ruick at Oregon State. She's got a nice versatility to her game too, but it is Stanford that really picked up the win this year. We talked about Jones, the #1 player in the class, who's also the McDonald's Player of the Year. Practical, the #3 player. Belibi, #3 forward. And Hannah Jump, who I do hear does have hops. You'd have to with that type of last name. If you don't, better work on it before you get to Stanford. What a class. Congratulations to Tara Vanderveer. Now, the real challenge is taking this talent and doing something with it, right? And getting yourselves back to the Final Four. But I think what we're seeing from Stanford this year, they have just been playing fantastic basketball.
Peoples tipped it. Brunel was getting ready to set up for the shot. Oliver leads the fast break, gets it back, tips it up.
Be more selfish. Let's go. Shoot the ball. That's what she loves to do. She says, I love to pass. Linnea Peoples, she's a point guard. This is, Skylar Diggins would make this shot. She wouldn't have passed it, right?
That's a really high bar to set.
Scoring point guard, man. You want to be Skylar, you better learn how to shoot some, too. Oh, or you can make up for it by doing that. That'll work.
Shot at the buzzer, no good. Great defense from Peoples to get out, not only contest the shot, but send it back. West over the East by 7 with the East's last score with almost 2 minutes to go. Good start here in Atlanta. The pride of Canton, Ohio, Kirsten Bell, she's staying at home in the Buckeye State, going to play for Ohio State after finishing her high school career as the state's 4th leading scorer and the first to win Ohio Miss basketball for a 3rd time. You know the only person who's done that on the guys' side?
Gosh, who's a really good player from Ohio?
Who was probably going to go to Ohio State,
No, it stunts me. Who you got, Mikey?
LeBron? Is that how you say it?
Okay, King James. Yes, that's right. Pride of Akron. What a great season that she had, and she said she just wanted to stay close to home and loved Kevin McGuff. He said they have been really talking since, they've been following her since grade school. They've known her career, her leadership skills. She said, I like to have fun, but I definitely want to bring some defense and do the little things. So I said, okay, so tell me the story behind all the tattoos. Like, how did you get started? Because you're definitely the most decorated All-American that I've ever seen. And she said at 17, she talked to her mom about getting one. Her mom was cool with it. So after that, you turn 18, mom didn't really have a say anymore after that. So she said after the first one. And this is what I hear a lot. You get one, and then it becomes like this really addictive thing. You want all kinds of tattoos. So she's got a bunch of different stories to tell.
Watching her at the Jam Fest on Monday, she was the first one to jump up off the court.
Yeah.
Because the players were sitting kind of in a semicircle behind the lane. First one to jump up and congratulate anybody. She had her phone out and she's dancing. She was having so much fun. And you imagine a player like that is great to have as a teammate as well.
Yeah, she'll be a great leader. And that's what she said about her skill level and what she's taken to Ohio State. She said, my leadership skills will set me apart. Very rare that you hear any young player talk about it like that. And I felt it.
Pull-up goes front rim for Jackson. Stays with the East squad at this end of the floor. They had trouble scoring down the stretch. Last field goal is about 2 minutes to go in the opening quarter. Beal, the inbound, 15-footer, is no good for Puisis, who's signed to play at Florida State in the greater Cincinnati area. Nobody stops ball. Here comes the East team.
Sometimes you got to get the, like we said, the nerves worked out a little bit. If I didn't have one air ball every game, it felt weird. Like I had to get it out of my system. So I always liked it to happen early on rather than late when it mattered.
Why would it feel weird if you didn't have one?
Because it was like I wouldn't have a good game after that. If you get the air ball out, then you just play free. If you don't, you might be like 5 of 15. But if you airball the first one, you might go 9 or 10 for 15.
Just
Does that make sense?
Get the embarrassment out of the way, and then you feel a lot more comfortable.
Yes, which is how I like to approach life. Just let me embarrass myself first. We'll have a foul there. And Zia Cook, who just shot the free throws. We talked about South Carolina and Dawn Staley getting a really good class, a couple of guards. She's 5'9", and talking to Zia, she said, listen, Dawn can make me make me better as a person and as a basketball player. I see some top players joining her. Brianna Beal as well. We talked to her earlier, of course, and is the Player of the Year in Illinois for the first time, the third time in a row. She will join Jabari Parker in that class. But I love what Zia had to say just about how much Coach Staley cared for her as a person. She said a lot of times we really wouldn't even talk about basketball. Good look ahead, and that's going to be an and one. It's Angel Jackson who finished the play at 6'5". Mike, she's headed to USC. Has a whole lot of personality, too. Just really enjoyed getting to know her yesterday. Runs the floor well, good vision and hands. Kind of strength, certainly size at 6'5". She's really committed, too, to her fitness over the last year. And she said she really felt honored to be here, knowing that her hard work has paid off. Her teacher showed her the McDonald's video in class. She said, when my teacher told me, I cried, my class cried, we all broke down. A three-pointer from Sam Puisis. It's going to be fun to say. Whoever the announcer is at Florida State, Puisis for three.
Coming down the lane, a spin, and it goes off the rim for Jackson. There's been no shortage of transition attempts early on in this game.
Well, attempts, right. Let's see the finish now. We're starting to see a few more shots go in. Aaliyah Boston.
Also going to South Carolina.
That's right.
Made her choice official on November 21st, the last day of the early signing period.
She said she really wants to develop her outside game so she can be a threat there too. You can imagine that would help out Dawn Staley, but certainly at 6'5", she's looking forward to going inside. And she said, I'm really not into the fashion world, but I said, but you have red hair, so you're matching for today and for South Carolina, right? She said, oh, I guess so. So it worked out.
Smart play.
Yeah.
One of the things that recently went viral from South Carolina was Dawn Staley. And she's out on the court. She's got her cup of coffee.
Yeah.
There's music going during a shoot around. She's dancing. That's the type of person who just looks like you say, okay, I know she's a great coach, but also she's somebody who likes to have fun too and is very just comfortable letting loose out on the floor during shoot around.
you hit it on the head. That's what all of these players were really in unison about, was just her authenticity. She's so much fun. You know she's serious. You know she knows how to play the game, and she's really proven that she can make players better.
Taylor came down the floor, missed it, and Cook puts it back up. So she goes to the free throw line for the second time within just a couple minutes.
Zaya was telling me that she'll text back and forth with Dawn Staley and say, Coach, what do you got? What are you going to wear on game day? And then she'll go ahead and send her pictures, say, should I wear these shoes? So she's getting fashion advice from Coach Staley. Back and forth, she said it's just amazing that I have this feeling of having won a gold medal with USA Basketball. Now here I am. I've been named a McDonald's All-American. I couldn't believe she had to say this about herself. She goes, look, I'm just an average player, but I know I have so much more inside me, and I cannot wait for Coach Staley to bring it out of me.
Well, she's far from average because she got a ton of attention, not just in Ohio, but across the country, because she scored 43 points in a game, and there was video of that. It had her hitting threes. It had her scoring at the basket. She had this crossover where she kind of backed up and just surveyed the scene because everybody in the crowd is going nuts. So it was a great performance, but it got tweeted out. Chance the Rapper, D. Wade, CJ McCollum, Jason Terry. She wasn't on Twitter, so she joined Twitter in December. Already has more than 10,000 followers, and on Instagram, over 100,000 followers.
Come on, okay, Insta famous. But that's what I love is that she said, listen, I'm average, meaning she knows she's built for so much more. Her average is probably someone else's great, but to her, it's not good enough. Good take from Beal.
Coast to coast for Beal, the future Gamecock. Nicely done.
Another versatile player. We've been talking about South Carolina a lot. Why not? Starting on the defensive end, Bria Beal with the steal, gets out in transition, splits defenders. Well, she was talking about how excited she was to play against the top girls in the country. She said, I can't believe I get the opportunity to do this. She's showing out.
Three-time winner of Illinois Miss Basketball. Only other one to win it as a girl, Candace Parker, 3 times. But the players on that list of who have won that award coming out of Illinois, you have Morgan Tuck, Cappy Pondexter, Tamika Catchings. That's really good company.
Well, we know that Chicago breeds great basketball players. I mean, it's the history, it's the love, it's the passion for the game there. So, coming out of Illinois, Brianna Beal has done some terrific things, and we talked about what talent she's going to bring to South Carolina. She's versatile, and she said, listen, I watched Asia, and I realized I can help at either the guard or the forward spot. So already coming in with some great numbers, 25 points, 15 rebounds a game. Definitely skilled defensively. Well, we saw pretty much a range in one play, defense to offense.
And she scored 4 points as the East squad has gone on an 11-0 run over the last 2 minutes and change to get this game back to even at 21. Here's Haley Jones, the #1 player in the class of 2019. Follows her miss and resets. Short corner pull-up, and she's going to the line. Basketball in her blood. Her parents were college basketball players. Her head coach, Sue Phillips, calls her the most versatile player in the country. And she's got an idea about the big picture, not just of sports, but also about life. Because when she was ready for her signing ceremony, it was when the California wildfires were happening, and that was a long stretch of time, of course. But she said, you know what is more important right now is for people to focus their attention on that, helping the people involved with that, and delayed her signing ceremony.
Wow. What a mature decision to make. She talked about how important the academics were, and that's why she chose Stanford as Zia Cook. Bounces one off the glass. Good runner layup. But I love, too, what Haley Jones had to say about studying psychology. She said, I want to go into sports psychology. I feel like that aspect of the game is, at least 70% of what we deal with. And so you can just really see that she's interested in studying the game and how it affects us mentally.
East basketball. Time.
Jones, the top player in the class. She's going to excel on and off the court when she gets to Stanford. Monday night, Fran Belibi, a history maker. Her dunks that won her the Powerade Jam Fest have already been seen over 1 million times on social media. Candace Parker was the first female to win the Powerade Jam Fest back in 2004. And Belibi, who was the first girl to dunk in a Colorado high school basketball game as a sophomore, got attention from the entire basketball community.
That's right, and our guy John Morant making sure everybody knows that, you know, the guys, yes, they can dunk, but not a lot of women can do these types of dunks. I mean, it was pretty jaw-dropping. So thanks, Ja, for coming on through for the ladies, but I think he's just setting the tone for everybody, understanding, hey, respect. Basketball is basketball, and that was pretty impressive.
And there have been other competitors. Brianna Stewart, when she was a McDonald's All-American, competed. Olivia Nelson-Ododa last year from UConn. Fran's in a class of just 2.
You know what I mean? And she's doing dunks, Mike, that you're going to see in a game. I mean, she's going to cross you up through the legs and finish with her left hand.
Easy.
I just pity the fool who's going to be the first one to get dunked on, because you will be posterized. That one needs to go up at Stanford. So exciting to see what she's going to bring next year to the Cardinal. Ooh, I can't wait.
Free throw pure for Peoples. Out of Danville, Illinois, about 35 miles east of Champaign, and all of a 3-hour drive from Notre Dame's campus. Deep try for Miller, goes back rim, pulled in by Horston.
That remains East basketball.
Diamond Miller, the New Jersey native, going to Maryland next year. Gets it in from the baseline. Quickly down the floor, here's Bell, one-on-one, high off glass. Rebound from Alabama's River Baldwin, who's going to play at Florida State. She's a 5-time All-State player.
And Mike, she's just got strength for days. I mean, her upper body is second to none. Got to be the strongest player in this game, no doubt. And as she gets a little leaner and she's able to really run and get that college level D1 fitness. I mean, that's such a huge adjustment from high school to Division I is the work you got to put in. You're used to being sore for maybe the first time in your life. That's actually something Jordan Horston and I talked about yesterday. She said, I just want to show up to campus prepared. I want to feel good. And I said, well, you better get used to being sore. Get in the weight room and learn how to play through that feeling. You'll be light years ahead.
The players at this level, boys, girls, are elite athletes.
Yes.
But when you get to your first summer session in college, is there a bit of fear that's happening there?
Oh, Mike, if I could only tell you, it's hard to explain how sore your body feels the first week of conditioning as a freshman athlete. But, you know, I could tell you that, you know, weights was 6 a.m. 3 times a week. We'd hit the track Tuesday, Thursday afternoons at 3 o'clock. We're sprinting 2 to 2.5 miles.
You get to the gym and you're like, how come there's no ball rack out?
You know what I mean?
Are we just running today?
Getting on the line, you're just running, and then you play after that. So you don't even like play basketball until all those other things are done. Oh, and by the way, you have 3 hours of study tables and schoolwork you still got to do. The schedule is very demanding.
Brown Turner gets the bucket and the foul.
Jakia Brown Turner headed to NC State. I said, how'd you manage to make it out of Maryland? But she said it came down to NC State and Maryland, and I just really fell in love with the coaching staff at NC State. She's got such a deep arsenal to her game and a incredibly long wingspan. I mean, she's got great, crazy long arms, and those will come in handy. She said, I love to get up and down the floor, hit some transition threes. She said, that's how I know I'm going to fit into the ACC.
She can score from 3. She can take it off the bounce. And a successful season continues for the Wolfpack, going to their second straight Sweet 16. Baldwin's got it. A 3-sport athlete during her high school career. All-state volleyball player and a champion shot putter.
See, I didn't know that, but now the strength comment comes into play right there. I could see that.
Miller trying to go 94 feet, just short on the layup try.
Now she's going 94 miles an hour. Needed to make it 93. Little double pump from Believy. Shot doesn't go in. Somebody make a basket out here. Let's go.
A lot of hands fighting for it. Jump ball. As Prechtel and Brunel hit the deck, both trying to claim possession.
See, working hard. I mean, these ladies have been here all week, practicing, you know, going all over town, doing some visits in media and marketing. So, you know, I think sometimes you got to work through the second half to get those legs going. But the competitiveness is definitely there. And the East came back. They have the lead now.
They were down big early.
West better step up.
Coming up at the half, we'll show you some of what the players have done off the court while they've been here in Atlanta as well. So it's Baldwin at the stripe, five-time All-State player, only the 9th player in Alabama, boys or girls, to earn that honor. The NCAA Women's Championship continues Friday, 7 and 9 Eastern, 4 and 6 Pacific on ESPN. Sweet 16 matchups from Albany, UConn, UCLA, and then Louisville and Oregon State at 9 o'clock. That's Friday on ESPN.
Yeah, the big rumor right now, Jeff Walz from Louisville expected to take the job in Tennessee. Holly Warlick out as head coach. We'll see if that comes to fruition, but that one kind of shocked me, Mike. I got to be honest. I mean, Louisville
has been immensely successful during his time there.
Yeah, Diamond Miller headed to Maryland. Obviously can shoot the 3 too, as well as drive. But yeah, I mean, I guess it comes down to, do I compare the city of Louisville to Knoxville in terms of college basketball fans? And I mean, they're both incredible. Knoxville has the history, Louisville, and what Jeff Walz has built there currently. You know, so if it's a matter of money, years in your contract, or maybe you're just trying to look for some negotiation power on the Louisville side, that's possible as well. It just shocked me to hear Jeff Walz's name come up as a candidate.
This is the time of year where you sit there scrolling on your Twitter timeline,
right?
And the coaching news comes out and you just go,
whoa.
Yeah. We had the same reaction to that. Inside of a minute here in the first half, Mike Cousins, Brooke Weisbrod, glad you're with us as the East was down early and now has come back to claim the lead.
You know, good muscle down low from Jordan Oliver. Well, she's a player that's headed to Baylor, my pick to win the national championship. And Jordan says she gets a lot of her toughness from her 3 older brothers. And they actually all have tattoos. It's the same Bible verse. And they have it on their hand. She said, listen, this is the tightest family you will ever see. And I learned how to play ball from my brothers. And she loved Kim Mulkey because she called her Mama Bear. She said, listen, she was just different. We had a fluid conversation. I felt like I was talking to my mom. Coach called me when she was doing laundry one night, and I just knew she was for me. That's a cool coach. Recruit calls in while you're folding clothes, cleaning up the kitchen, you know, doing the dishes.
Why is Baylor your pick for the championship?
Wow, I mean, why not? They've got loaded talent. You've got size. I mean, I think Kalani Brown might be one of the best players that we don't talk about enough in women's college basketball. It's just a program that I feel like Kim Mulkey has running at all levels. They're full speed. They're great on defense. They lead the country in offensive statistics like rebounding. They're getting in there doing defensive statistics like blocking the shots. I mean, it's really an all-around team effort for Baylor. I just think they're stacked.
Well, they are, because the roster this year has 7 players who are McDonald's All-American.
See, look at you coming through, Mikey. You knew.
Success in college basketball begets more success.
Yes.
That ball pinballs around and into the hands of Osborne. Now left block, it's stripped away from Jackson.
I'll give a side credit also to Bria Beal on that strip. Coming through again. She's got great size at 6'1". You know, you could put her 2 through 4 and she's going to make a difference. And I'll tell you what, Mike, the reason that's so valuable in versatility and that word, it's not just a buzzword. Because if I'm a coach and I've got a mismatch or I've got an issue or perhaps one of my players gets into foul trouble and I have a player like Beal who can go take on the 2 guard or who can go muscle up with somebody down in the paint, you know how many more options it's going to give you as a coach?
Because it's going to happen at some point for teams that are limited defensively, where somebody's going to get in foul trouble. They're going to have to come off the floor. And if it happens first quarter, you're a struggle until
That's
halftime.
right. So much of the women's game, as well as the boys' game, men's game, has gone positionless. You're seeing players that, you know, from 5'6" to 6'3" are almost all capable of doing the same things.
Got a chance for one more possession for the West squad before this quarter comes to a close and we hit the half here in Atlanta. Cook, strong defense, trying to lock down Osborne, who goes up and travels with 0.8 of a second to go. And no shot attempt as we hit the half. East squad went on a 27-11 run over the last 8 minutes as they take the lead. Fran Belibi helping lead the charge. They launched a big comeback over the last 8 minutes. 27-11 outscoring their opposition. Mike Cousins, Brooke Weisbrod, thanks so much for being with us. What'd you take away from the first half today?
Well, I think what we saw was these young ladies really getting to work, trying to get out and score in transition and show some of their skills. We saw some good finishes at the rim. We saw some big-time plays from some future superstars. Aya Cook, one of those players, 5'9", headed to South Carolina. She had a nice drive to the basket. I am expecting much more offense here, Mikey, in this game. We saw 37 points from the East after a slow start. And you take a look at some of the scores out of the first half. Haley Jones, Fran Belibi, both Stanford headed to Stanford, I should say. 11 points combined for them. And Horston, who is a Tennessee signee, with 8 points of her own.
Neither team shot better than 30% in the first half.
Yeah.
And if they clean up some of those misses around the rim, you know, those field goal percentages will take a jump. It's Taylor, the Long Island native, going to Texas next year. New York State's Gatorade Player of the Year at a Long Island Lutheran high school. And the Philly Bells AAU program, which has turned down some great players over the last few years. 10-point lead for the East squad, just underway, third quarter. Jackson, and she knocks down the three-pointer. Future Mississippi State Bulldog won a third straight state title this year. She dropped in 28 in the title game.
I'll tell you what one scout told me about Rakia Jackson as we see Sammy Puisis with the answer. Now, talking to this particular scout who has followed women's basketball for a number of years and actually used to recruit me in my high school days when he was an assistant coach. But anyways, he said, listen, Rakia Jackson is the type of player, give me 4 of her and a point guard, and I'm going to win some titles. This is a player at 6'3", going to Mississippi State. She will play for Vic Schaefer, who I'm sure will let her shoot some threes. And a terrific job by Sammy Puisis to be ready, hands and feet ready to catch and shoot. And Sue Semrau, Florida State, will welcome all of that and then some. But Mississippi State, Rakia Jackson is just going to be an unbelievable player. She can play 1 through 4. Joining her, Jayla Hemingway, Jemiah Young, and Esmery Martinez. So Vic Schaefer going to lose a lot with Anriel Howard, Tierra McCowan. And I'll actually see them this weekend in Portland for the Sweet 16.
And here's Jackson, quickly down the floor. She talked about Tierra McCowan as one of the players whose career she watched blossom under Coach Schaefer and said, I see the type of player development that he's capable of as a head coach. That's somebody who I want to play for. She's the first girls player in the McDonald's game from Detroit since the girls game started back in 2002.
No kidding.
Puisis lines up another 3, a lights out shooter.
Range. And she loves the system offense. She'll be great at Florida State. And she can finish around the rim too, play with some bigs, but we're seeing the extent of her range come to life tonight.
Brown kept the possession alive for the West squad. Peoples didn't want the ball screen, takes it herself. And the rebound picked up by Boston.
Good pass from Taylor Puisis. Okay.
What vision to go cross court and then cross lane as Brunel finishes for the East.
Good touch passes by the three players there, all involved.
That first pass, though, from Taylor.
You know, Sammy Puisis said, listen, I was surprised I was named as an All-American because of all the talent that's here, but she's proving that she belongs here on the floor tonight. She said Florida State felt like home the second I walked on campus and I put the jersey on. Signed with Florida State, 19 points a game, nearly 7 rebounds.
She's from your neck of the woods.
That's right, representing the Natty. She lives in Mason, which is up by where Kings Island. Everybody knows
You're
Kings
a
Island
roller coaster aficionado.
Man, oldest wooden roller coaster in the country is the Beast.
Puisis, her older sister Katie, beach volleyball player at Florida Gulf Coast. If I come back in a second life,
okay,
I'm going to launch a beach volleyball career.
Oh, okay. Well, you better
Sun
say the
and
height
sports.
you are.
Right.
Yeah.
I'll have to be 6'4" again,
Yes.
which the odds of that are not very good.
You'd be a good beach volleyball player, Mike. I could see that.
Oh, at least there'd be one sport I'd be competent at. Nice pull-up jumper. Jackson again. She is also very active off the floor, involved in the Brown Bag Project, help bringing lunches to the homeless, and also in a program that helps give shoes to underserved children.
That's pretty amazing. So she gets the bigger picture. And I said, okay, you're going to Mississippi State, so you must be in pretty good shape if you know you're going to play for Vic Schaefer. You don't mess around when it comes to fitness. Okay, step back.
Puisis running the floor. She can hit it from deep, and the runner off the window. Jackson with the left to the answer. That was a nice look for the drop-off there. Just unable to finish.
Kia Jackson has been involved everywhere on the floor, just put a little too much sauce on that pass. But I like the fact that she's leading the break. I mean, she's been sprinting up and down the floor, not even breathing hard. You don't see her bend over, picking up her shorts. She's gonna go ahead and take a breather here.
So for folks who don't know, you mentioned Coach Schaefer and his enjoyment of having good, well-conditioned players. What's behind that?
Gosh, I would say hour-and-a-half practices on game day, maybe. Vic Schaefer just does not play when it comes to fitness, and he really has his ladies in great shape, and she will definitely be tested there. As you see her going to her inhaler, I want to make sure she's all right. Certainly putting in a full effort here on the floor. Doing a great job.
Boston turns to the left hand, and the native of the Virgin Islands, who moved to New England when she was 12 years old, headed to South Carolina, gets 2 for the East.
Yeah, I'd like to go to Mississippi State, maybe for preseason, get to some good shape right before basketball season comes around. That's gonna be my new plan. You inspired me, Mike. Call it Vic Schaefer, see if I can show up on campus.
I'd like to see that on the SEC Network next year.
No, nobody's gonna watch that.
Brooke does preseason conditioning.
Brooke gets sick every day. She's at Mississippi State.
Brooke injures a hamstring, and that series has been abruptly canceled. Mike Cousins, Brooke Weisbrod with you here from State Farm Arena in Atlanta. We've got the girls' game now and the boys' game to follow at 7 Eastern. Charisma Osborne, the LA product, going to stay home and play at UCLA with the 3. When she was a sophomore in high school, the LA Times called her the Allen Iverson of her high school. High praise.
Wow. Well, she plays hard then if she's getting Allen Iverson comparisons, willing to give up her body, probably has a killer crossover, good three-point shot, and the showtime element to her game too. I mean, you can't be AI with a little sauce, right? Good pull-up jump shot. Wow, Zaya Cook has shown some skills tonight. A freaky athlete is what we hear about her. She can really elevate. You saw it there, but against those taller defenders, She can put up shots over 6'5" players.
And gets buckets. She averaged about 22 a game. Reverse layup, no good on the baseline drive for Haley Jones, the #1 player in the class. Foul on the drive. It'll be free throws for Diamond Miller when we come back. Women's Basketball Championship continues Friday, 7 and 9 Eastern on ESPN. A couple of Sweet 16 matchups from Albany, New York. UConn, UCLA, and then Louisville squares off with Oregon State, with all games streaming live on the ESPN app. And Aubrey Griffin out of Ossining, New York, signed to play at UConn out of a great program there at Ossining High School, and head coach Dan Rickey. It's turned out players like Sanaya Chong, who went to UConn, and Andra Espinoza-Hunter to Mississippi State. And she is in a small class this year for Coach Gino Auriemma.
Well, it's interesting. You know, I think what have been accustomed to seeing is 2 to 5 McDonald's All-Americans at any given time going to UConn. But, you know, you never doubt Gino Auriemma. I mean, he's able to take players. He could take some scrubs, honestly, and win probably 20 games because he's that good of a coach. But Aubrey Griffin at 6'1", she'll be headed there. Incredible potential. She's got confidence to her game and coming back from a knee injury. So as she continues to get stronger, more athletic, and really develop that, you know, I have no doubt that she will be one of the top players in the country in no time.
She was a big-time scorer her freshman year in a game. She dropped 51 points, missed the sophomore year with that ACL injury, and then averaged 28 as a junior. And she's the first McDonald's All-American out of that area, New York's Hudson Valley, since Corey Chambers out of Ursuline back in 2003, who went to Georgia. So 56-43, the lead for the East, which took a lead into halftime after going down early in the first quarter. Shot is long for Ashton Prechtel out of Colorado Springs.
Jordan Horston, the quick cross and take. Nice job. It was an explosive move. I like that.
Had the ball screen set up and went away for it. One step and right past the defense.
Yeah, Jordan Horston going to read the screen, but instead take a crossover. Well, good job putting Fran Belibi on a little bit of skates here. Trailing, trying to get the swat. A little too late. She's got a quick first step. She passes well, she shoots well. And she's really excited to play at Tennessee. She says, listen, whatever they need me to do, I'm just trying to be a leader. And the best parts about my game, it's rebounding, it's defense. A lot of people say I play like Penny Hardaway, Magic Johnson. She says she just loves to pass. So excited, of course, to be announced a McDonald's All-American. The flu game, no problem for Miss Jordan Horston, who's headed to play for Tennessee, who apparently will not be coached by Jeff Walz. We were given confirmation during this game that he is coaching Louisville. So we got you, Coach Walz.
Horston comes from a family with a military background. Her dad spent 6 years in the Army Reserves. Uncle served in the Navy, and one of her grandfathers was in the Army as well. She's got the rebound.
Oh, with the no look.
A miss on the first, and then Baldwin was turned away on the second try. Belibi in the post.
All right, we need to create some open space for Fran Belibi to bring this crowd to their feet. Everybody came here to see a little showtime. Horston's giving us some in the fast break. Another nice look at a dish.
Second try is the charm for Diamond Miller, the future Maryland Terrapin.
Oh, she's a quick leaper. Great slasher, very lean athlete, so just wiry with that long frame. She's going to be a bother on the defensive end. Belibi trying to shoot over her. Horston looking to see what she can do in the open floor.
East with the lead, and they've spread around the wealth in this quarter as 8 different players have scored a bucket.
There is the exchange. Those pass, good finish by Baldwin.
Baldwin's the 9th player for the East to score in this 10-minute frame with 1:05 to go. Owens, woo! Jaden Owens going to UCLA. She makes it look easy. We talked about social media fame, by the way. 145,000 followers on Instagram for her.
Also did not know that until today. You wonder too how does that affect a young basketball player's confidence? I think the biggest thing that you worry about if you're a coach, Jordan Horst is just taking over this quarter by herself. The biggest thing you worry about if you're a high school coach is that going to become more important than the development? Will the likes outweigh the shots? Being in the gym, shooting by yourself, not worrying about being on your phone.
And as you get to higher levels, you gain more fame. You're more noticed. There's not only likes that come along with that, though, because the internet is not a wholly positive place, right?
Good point. So that means you can't get addicted to the likes and you cannot get taken down by the trolls.
And as hard as it may be to do, I think that some of the smartest teams are the ones that go off of social media during the season.
Yeah, but it's always going to be there, so you might as well embrace it.
Fouls on Prechtel. And it puts Beal to the line. 3-time winner of Illinois' Miss Basketball.
Samantha Brunell checking back in for the East team. Back on the floor for the West, Charisma Osborne.
Sam Brunell back on the floor for the East. Charisma Osborne, the UCLA-bound LA native, back in for the West.
Just saw a sign. She's the real Beal. Couldn't agree more, especially Illinois fans today.
One more chance for the East squad. Deep pull-up. Beal goes short in the half-court runner. Goes wide for Rakia Jackson.
Well, Jordan Horston at 6'2", headed to Tennessee, has taken over this quarter. Scouting report on her, she does everything well. Make sure you get those J's tightened up.
Nobody's
J's,
volunteering.
My bad, the Hardens. Holy cow, my bad.
Welcome back to the 2019 McDonald's All-American Girls Game. It's been an exciting 3 quarters. 10 minutes to go with the East up 66-46 over the West. And it's been a big evening for Columbus, Ohio's own Jordan Horston.
Yeah, really showing a range of her skill set. Starting on defense, you see her out in the open floor, finishing underhand. Nice little teardrop layup there. Taking it off the bounce. She's just so quick with that release. I don't know anybody's going to be able to block that shot. But good vision, the pull-up jump shot. She compares her game to Penny Hardaway's in Magic, saying how much she loves to pass, but she's been taking some shots here in the third quarter. Knoxville would be very excited to get this young lady to town.
West in the gray, down by 20 to start the fourth.
And she's one of the top 5 guards in the class of 2019, joining Bell here in this game. Nia Green headed to Louisville. Jordan Oliver, of course, Baylor, and Blackwell to Mizzou.
Speaking of Nia Green, the Allen, Texas native, she drains the jumper to get it down to 18 for the West. Boston from the post against Belibi. Defended well, and she leads the break. They got to get it back to her running the lane.
Give her an alley-oop.
Owens has been feeling the three-point try from the wing. And Belibi hangs, puts too much on it off the glass. The offensive rebound for Peoples. And here comes Taylor. Even though the finishes have not been at as high as a rate as the players or coaches probably would expect of themselves, some of the passing in transition and the cross-lane passing has been really impressive with the vision and execution.
I would agree, but every college coach watching this game is like slapping their forehead with their palm right now, saying, can we get some made layups here? That's what they want to see. This is no style points awarded here for that. You've got to get the finish.
It's Griffin out of Ossining, New York. short drive north of New York City. She broke the New York State Federation record for most points in a single tournament, previously held by Brianna Stewart. Tells you how great of a talent she is. Federation is when New York State, you've got your private school, your public school champions. They go head to head.
Okay.
Griffin scored 77 in Osening's 2 Federation games. Stewie's record was 64.
And that's pretty incredible because, I mean, how good of a player is Stewart? And you just think about, gosh, potential. Griffin, she just got the makeup of an All-American look to her.
Tonight on ESPN, NBA Wednesday. It's a doubleheader. It starts in Oklahoma City, Pacers and Thunder, and then it's off to Salt Lake City for the Jazz and the Lakers. Coverage starts with NBA Countdown tonight, 7 Eastern on ESPN, and wherever you roam on the ESPN app. It's good. The app is great if you're in formal attire like me, a suit,
yes.
Casual attire like you with
That's
the McDonald's jersey on. It's good for everybody.
Good for everywhere. You know, I read somewhere on Twitter that someone was at a Mariah Carey concert watching the women's second round action through the app. I said, that's dedication right there.
File that under living your best life.
Yeah, exactly.
The only way I think it could get better is if it was when she was performing Butterfly.
Oh, was that your favorite Mariah song?
Yeah.
I got it.
Yeah.
I knew you were a big fan. Good pass out. Good idea. Here it is.
Good look for about a 15-foot jumper for Green.
Yeah, Nia Green. She's headed to Louisville to play for Jeff Walsh. She just talked about how different it was there. She said, I love the fan base. I love how genuine the coaches were. They are the type of staff that pushes you to get better. And can certainly attest to that. I mean, you just look at her. She's got a college body already. She's got incredible strength.
Levy running the floor. You gotta think. Set her up for a dunk at some point.
Come on. I mean, we got to see it happen. We only got 7.5 minutes left.
Fran on Monday, if you're joining us late, didn't see it, Powerade Jam Fest was the champion. Perfect score on all of her dunks and became the second girls player to win the Powerade Jam Fest other than Candace Parker back in 2004.
She did a reverse baseline dunk. She did a left-handed dunk off of a move, went through her legs, powered right down the middle of the floor, or middle of the lane. Then did an alley-oop two-handed, got some help from her teammate Haley Jones. And then, to top it all off, puts on the cape and jumps over Ashton Prechtel to get the championship. That was amazing.
Boston powers her way to the bucket for 2, going to South Carolina next year. You and I have been here for back-to-back Powerade Jam Fest. Last year, it was Zion, who's kind of in a category of his own. But I will make the case that there was more juice in the building from Fran's dunks than there were for Zion's dunks.
Yeah, you could really feel it. I mean, people have been talking about Fran Believy for a few months, at least. And she's really exploded onto the social media scene. I know she doesn't just want to be known for her dunks, but I mean, come on. Can we see this at the next level? Look at the alley-oop. This is not one hand, people. This is 2 hands on the alley-oop. And this one topped it off. Superwoman. Get on up.
Not all heroes wear capes, but Fran does.
I'm a believer. We're going to see a movement. We're going to see the goggles. We're going to see Goggle City at Stanford. Remember when they had, what, was it Nerd Nation or Nerd City or... It was Nerd something. It was when Chiney Ogumake was playing.
Nation with the alliteration, I think sounds right.
Okay. So maybe we'll do, I don't know, we got to get something to go with goggles.
That's all right. We've got
Goggle Gang. Goggle Gang. I got it.
We had till November to figure it out, but you're well ahead of the curve.
Let's do it. Goggle Gang. Calling it a thing. Goggle Gang.
Goggle Gaggle. A group.
Come on, Mike. Let's just
I'll put my
keep it simple.
I'll put my thesaurus away now.
Well, the East looks like they're ready to put this game away, up 72-54. The West is going to have to get some buckets. Anaya Peoples, Notre Dame point guard. The crossover.
She lowers the shoulder, loses it out of bounds, and it goes back to the East. Another substitution is Jakia Brown-Turner going to NC State. Here's onto the floor for the East squad, led by Sue Phillips, the head coach at Archbishop Mitty High School in California. Prechtel came up with the steal, pull-up jumper, pure for Jackson, the future Mississippi State Bulldog, coming off a 3rd straight state title this year.
And we said this earlier in the game, but it's worth repeating because one scout told me about Rakia Jackson. Give me 4 of her and a point guard, and I'm going to win you some titles. Zia Cook serving it up. Such a competitiveness about her. I mean, you could just read it in her face. So just humble too, talking about I'm an average player. I want Coach Staley to bring the best out of me.
Here comes Cook leading the 3-on-2 break across the lane. And that's a foul on the lay-in try from Griffin. Fran sitting comfortable. Headed to Stanford next year. Powerade Jam Fest champ here in Atlanta.
The 2019 McDonald's All-American Girls Game is brought to you by McDonald's and the U.S. Army. Find out at goarmy.com/warriors.
It can be hard to differentiate yourself on the biggest stage among the best high school basketball players, but today, Detroit's Rakia Jackson has done that. She scored 11, one off the game high.
Yeah, Vic Schaefer getting just a next level player. She's kind of that hybrid. I think about, Anriel Howard. I think about Victoria Vivians, how they could play at the guard spot, but really more equipped to play the post. But, as she gets stronger and puts on some muscle, she is going to be a force to deal with in the SEC. She said, the main thing is I got to work on my confidence. Well, I mean, gosh, you pick up a basketball at 12 and you're doing this, you're getting yourself to the McDonald's All-American level, I'd say give yourself some credit. And the best thing I could say about players thinking that exact same thing, I got to build my confidence, just get in the gym. Lift, get in the gym, shoot, get better. Your confidence will soar.
It's what you hear athletes at the highest level say when they reach the critical moment of a game or of a season. I just relied on my training. That's what got me there, and I knew that was going to be good enough for a victory.
If there's something you can pull off in an empty gym, shooting by yourself, and I know a lot of players these days, they get trainers and skill coaches when they're like 2 years old, and that's cool. Learn the moves, but make sure you go to open gym and you play and you try out those moves and you give yourself the freedom and the creativity to just play basketball and get better. We just really don't see a whole lot of pickup. I know Paul B. Biancardi, our expert, high school basketball expert, will say the same thing. We need to start a movement here this weekend.
3 just missed for Puisis, who's knocked down a couple in the second half. A driving Charisma Osborne gets fouled. SportsCenter tonight after Lakers Jazz, and after the buzzer with Stan and Neal. They'll have the latest on the Thunder's fight for playoff position. Seth Greenberg gives us his Sweet 16 teams with the best shot at a title or an upset, and what to watch for on opening day. SportsCenter 1 Eastern, 10 Pacific on ESPN and the ESPN app. It's Osborne going to UCLA. The Bruins, under Corey Close, finished 4th in the Pac-12 this year. And she got her unique name. Her mom was in the hospital, and she heard somebody else call out for their child, Charisma, and said, I love that name. And that's how she ended up with her name.
The timing, it was perfect. It was meant to be. Well, I think if your name is Charisma, you got to go to a program that's going to appreciate a little showtime. UCLA is right up her alley. There's Peoples with the steal. Notre Dame, Fighting Irish, they do plenty of that. Transition buckets off defense is one of their specialties.
West cranking up the defensive heat a little bit with inside 3.5 minutes to go as they're trying to close out a deficit they faced since the second quarter.
I mean, do you think we're going to get Fran Believy back in this game and they're going to allow her to dunk? I mean, we got to see that, right? No?
I think
crickets over there.
I think it has to happen.
It should. It really should. The guys are in here. They're gonna let each other have a chance at some highlights and dunking. Might as well do it here.
Puisis ahead for Horston.
Whoa!
High lob to the bucket.
See,
Cleared up
that's
by
where we
Beal.
need Believy in the game. percentile on our team, but we need her to throw that alley-oop. Levy's still on the bench.
Peoples taking the bump on her way to the hoop from Brown Turner. 2:31 to play. The boys are going to take the floor shortly after this girls' game is done. Stay right here as we bring you that game as well. Fran's waiting. She's so humble though.
She's got the eyes saying, maybe can I get back in? Maybe just a minute, a couple plays. But yes, extremely humble. Scored a 35 on her ACTs. So, good fit for Stanford.
How'd you do on your ACT?
I don't want to talk about it, Mikey. I will say this. You know, I had dreams of playing basketball and becoming a lawyer, but playing basketball at Notre Dame, my grades were always good. And then I took that ACT, that SAT, and I said, how about somewhere else? Let's go to the college fair, Mom. Let's go see who's out there.
Where's the beach?
Where's the beach?
By the way, if you're not familiar with Brooks' career, she played at Coastal Carolina and is a Hall of Famer in the Big South Conference. So you did pretty well for yourself.
I did all right. And I'd imagine, Mike, by hearing your range of vocabulary, you were probably more on the high 20s, low to mid 30s maybe for your ACTs. Is that right? You got a 33, didn't you?
I didn't take the ACT.
Okay, of course not.
I only got into one school, actually.
Yeah, it was a good one.
I only applied to one also.
And no Syracuse representatives here today. That's got to be disappointing for you, I know.
Knocked out of the tournament by South Dakota State at the Carrier Dome this year for Coach Q, bringing the end to the career for Tiana Mungakahia, one of the better players in Orange history.
Well done with the name, too.
All right, 1:50 to go. Back to a 13-point game. Jones trying no good. Out of bounds off of River Baldwin. And the gray West squad keeps it. East in the black uniforms. Jackson's been able to find her shot. She turns it over. Beal takes it going the other way. West needs buckets in a hurry. Osborne wide on the three. And Griffin gets ahead of the field. An easy lay-in for the future UConn Husky.
Now, I feel like now everybody's just starting to get warmed up. I think they might need another quarter, but it looks like we are all done. Unfortunately, seeing another Fran Believy sighting and a dunk. But her teammate, Haley Jones, loses the ball out of bounds, but just received the McDonald's Player of the Year. And Fran Believy, your Powerade Jam Slam Dunk champion. Sorry, I almost said that wrong. Just did some great things last night. I mean, changing the game. She's really at next level.
Who impressed you the most in this game?
Horston. I'd say Horston and Rakia Jackson, as well as Zaya Cook. I thought she had a nice showing as well.
Three players really, that took a good volume of shots, but they didn't force them. They found them in the rhythm of what the offense was doing.
I agree.
We're just a few minutes away now from the boys' game as well. Here in Atlanta, we'll get going 7 Eastern with 24 of the top high school boys players from across the country. Horston, she gives it down the lane to a cutting Baldwin. 4 seconds to go, and the lay-in is good as the buzzer sounds for Anaya Peoples. 83-68 is the final, with the East triumphing over the West. Thanks for being with us. So for Brooke Weisbrod, our entire crew, Mike Cousins saying so long for now from Atlanta. We'll be back at 7 Eastern with the start of the 2019 McDonald's All-American Boys Game.